Hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good Saturday or have had a good Saturday or a good start. Figured I'd break out some of my more so esoteric things and metaphysical, spiritual stuff that I've been tinkering with lately. I brought back the Egyptian Book of the Dead, like I told you I would. Hello, Warrior of Lifetimes. Welcome in. Which I did want to go ahead and say that my moderator let me know that there were a lot of people were commenting on to me in the last live. And I just want to go ahead and preface this by saying that sometimes I see comments, sometimes I don't. And I'm saying that because if I'm not responding or interacting with you, it's probably because I'm not seeing the comments. It's been like that since I've been on YouTube. I've had a pretty hard time having a consistent stream where I can see everyone's comments in real time. So if I haven't gotten to you or haven't responded to you, it's not because I'm ignoring you or anything. I just simply can't see it. Some people who know who they are, I do ignore. The ones I know that are just in here to try to mess up the vibes. But to those who are here for good intentions, I promise you, I'm not avoiding you or avoiding your questions or anything. I just, sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. I don't know how to fix that part as far as YouTube is concerned. I was actually trying to use a live streaming app, which will make my second time trying to use one, but it wasn't working correctly. So here I am trying to use YouTube's again and giving it another go and seeing what happens, at least till I can do better with my equipment, which is my phone. But yeah, so I just wanted to go ahead and say all that. Don't have anything specific. Like I told you all yesterday, we can pretty much kind of just hang out this evening and talk about certain topics. Hello. Oh, I don't want to slide. Namjil. I hope. I'm sorry if I'm not. But hello, welcome in, welcome in. Thank you all for joining in. It's been a pretty lazy Saturday for me. Where you see me at is where I've pretty much been at all day. Completely honest. And it's pretty much like this for me on the weekends anyway. Shoot, sometimes throughout the weekdays, I'm just keeping it a buck. But today has just been, again, chillax day. Nothing too crazy. How can I have a shout out? It's right there. Oh, happy birthday, Andrew Irons. Happy birthday. I hope you either have enjoyed your day or enjoy your evening if you're going out or whatnot, whatever, however you celebrate. Happy birthday. Terry. No, ironically, I don't feel confident enough to do readings for people. I feel like I'm still a noob at it myself. So I don't know. I just figured I'd show you guys my decks and what I've been collecting and all that good stuff. I will sub. Oh, Fox Boy. Hello. Welcome in. So yeah, so my very first deck that I got is this one. It's called Ethereal Visions Tarot. And I was really drawn to it because of the beautiful lady on the front. I don't know. I really like the art style of it. And I just love the artwork here. It's, well, hold on. I hope I'm showing it right. It's just really cool, really pretty. For any of those of you who are into tarot and know about the major and minor arcana, and all of that good stuff. Because I know so many people are like, oh, that's evil, that's juju, that's, and to those people, I say they just need to do a little more research and recognize that everything that's been put on this plane has been for our benefit and for good. And, you know, we just kind of got to learn to broaden our horizons, because I too used to be one of those people. So, and here I am today. So, you know, it's got to kind of unlearn a lot of stuff that you've been told, but I'm not by any means forcing anyone to get into tarot or whatnot. If that's, you know, if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. Like me, it's not something that I practice in terms of like, oh, I live my life by it, but it's something that I like to do. And I just kind of like to see what I get and what's going on. And just kind of like practicing my spiritual gifts pretty much. So the second deck, oh, that's awesome. I have many decks. Well, shoot, you might have to share some good ones with me. Because I feel like I'm kind of becoming a collector of sorts. I only have 3, but yeah. So this is my second one. It's Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle Deck by Amanda Lovelace. Artwork by Janaea Meteores. I hope I'm saying it. But this is the artwork for this one. And I really love this Oracle deck. My husband actually got me this one. He was in, what was it, Books A Million or Barnes and Noble, excuse me. And he saw it and he like video chatted with me. He was like, oh, which one do you like? And I was like, I like that one. So yeah, and I love the artwork style of this one too. Just really cool to see the graphics with all of the ladies that they got on there. It's like so empowering. And I think it has like this Oracle deck has like the witches, the mermaids, and then just the regular young ladies on there. But I really, really enjoy it. Oh, we're talking about tarot at the moment. I think we got some people that's on. Today is just a hangout. Sorry, let me adjust my mic. Today's just a hangout, nothing specific. So we're just hanging out. Coming up, if we have any like specific topics that we want to talk about or pick each other's brains on, we can do that. But yeah, just hanging out today. And then my most recent deck is the Sacrament, a Diviner's Tarot. This is what the box looks like. And this one I actually got from the Meta Center from Dr. Delbert Blair's store that he established in Chicago. I believe that's being run by his protege, Mr. Tony Vortex. And I really love this Oracle deck. Like my very first draw that I got with it was like spot on. I just pulled the cards the first time and I got like such a good reading. I thought it was really cool. But this is what it looks like. Or hold on, make sure I'm holding it up properly. You can kind of see. I know some of the words might be inverted, but that's kind of what it looks like. And yeah, I'm sorry it went out. I've been having a lot more of that lately. It seems my devices is like the only ones in the house being affected, oddly enough. But yeah, so just if you have the patience to bear with me. But yeah, so what I'm saying about that Oracle deck is that it's pretty much not, it doesn't focus as much on the major and minor arcana, but just more so like a further explanation of like just basic what was it? Just basic I can't think of my words. Now I'm trying to say, but just basic things that like motivating like phrases or sayings or like confirmations of things. Whereas the with a traditional tarot deck, you have your major and minor arcana, and they all represent something different. Um, which back, yes, no, it's weird because it's fine all day. It's only when I try to go to do my lives or something like that that it's up. Mm. But I know it's supposed to be what the lunar eclipse today, if that hasn't already taken place. I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if that might also have something to do with the devices because I have a solid internet connection. So, mm. But anywho, but yeah, so that's pretty much those are the decks that I have at the moment. I'm always looking for cool ones that I just resonate with. I'm not cards. I only, excuse me. Let's see. Okay. Is everyone still with me? So give me a thumbs up, a smiley face, something. Let me know you guys are there. If not, I can always jump off and jump back on. Who's here? Sound off. Oh, won't let you back in. That's odd. Let me see. Welcome to live chat. Remember the card. Okay. That's not that. Hold on. Okay. Well, it's saying I'm back live. I know this internet stuff can be a little finicky. All right. Okay. So from what I can see, it's still filming. I'm gonna just jump right back into it. But like I was saying, picking up on the Egyptian Book of the Dead, I got this about 2 weekends ago now, and I've actually made a pretty good dent in it. So I've read about this much. Well, let me see. Read about that much. If you can see that. And the book is about this thick. So about a quarter, I'd say. A little over a quarter, I'd say actually. And basically what I've been learning so far is just it's a breakdown of or translation and breakdown of the hieroglyphs that were discovered concerning the Book of the Dead, and basically just translated over into English and like what the images and what the hieroglyphs are supposed to mean and what they're supposed to say. Let's see. So as you all know, I like to rock my Anubis charm and chain. I actually got the inspiration for wearing Anubis jewelry or just having something with him on it from Bobby Hemmett. I actually I've been watching a lot of his lectures, Dr. Delbert Blair, his lectures, and so many other like metaphysical and esoteric teachers, or at least I consider them to be such. And the lecture in particular that I remember that I had tuned into, he was talking about that when it comes to Egyptology, that's a lot of our history, and that, you know, a lot of that stuff has kind of been kept under wraps from us. And to focus on having either imagery or statues or not an urn, a shrine or something like that, paying homage to certain gods and stuff like that. So when it comes to Anubis, I feel like I was drawn, or I was called, or that he called to me, specifically because I've been having dreams about him and Toth. And I know there was a show called Moon Knight on Disney Plus that my husband and I watched, and that was like one of the first like shows I had seen where they kind of focus more on the Egyptian gods and introducing them throughout the show, and also American gods. That show also touched on Anubis, and that's kind of what like stoked my fascination. And like I said, shortly after, I started like having dreams about him and just like being curious about uh him, and that's kind of what led me to want to start wearing him, like I said, along with the Bobby Hemmett lectures, because he basically was like, you know, if you if you're feeling scared, I'm paraphrasing, because again, if you're aware of Bobby Hemmett and how he would come across, you know, he can be a little raw. So I'm paraphrasing, but he basically was like, oh, you know, if you're feeling scared, or if you're feeling like you need protection or guidance, start imagining Anubis with you when you go out, or um, have a statue, or have, you know, something that, you know, reminds you that he's with you and all of that stuff. And so I started doing just that. I actually have a sticker on my car of Anubis. I've been naming like some of my electronic devices Anubis, like to just foster protection, because as we know, Anubis is the god of death, and he's supposed to be the one that weighs our heart against a feather on the scales when that time comes in the field of reeds, to see what type of person you were, and if you'll get to pass on to that other plane or not. So I think that's why I really resonate with him, because seeing as I'm a person like justice is important to me. And that's kind of what I feel about him, because the imagery that he tends to get in shows and movies and stuff like that is like, you know, this beast type of character. Because I think it was I don't want to say Black Adam, but it was a movie where he was kind of cast like a deranged Jekyll face, you know, being, and like he didn't have any sense or knowledge, and that's not true at all about him. He's very intelligent. He's also like a silent but possibly like deadly type of god. So it's like not someone you want to get on their bad side, and I really resonate with that, because that's how I view myself. Like, I'm not a person that's inherently just an angry or mean or nasty person, but it's like if you get on my bad side, then it's like, yeah, you messed up. So so, you know, I rock with the things that he stands for more so. And the same like with Toth. If you all are aware of Toth and the Emerald Tablets, I've been learning about that. I've also recently gotten introduced to Hathor, or Hathor, if that, and I know she goes by many other names. And these three deities or entities in particular have reached out to me, whether it be through dreams or whatnot. I remember having a very vivid dream, which I'm saying dream, but I don't think it was a dream. I think I astral projected, because that's exactly what it felt like. And it's like I could see outside of my body, so I knew like what was happening. But I actually had a dream that Anubis was standing outside of a portal in my backyard, like the yard I have right now, and had like a huge portal, an arced portal, beckoning me to go in it. And when I went in it, Toth was inside, and it was like like a white bookcase. Like it was like a bunch of different bookcases, but they were white. And that's what I remember specifically about that. And when I stepped inside, Toth kind of like guided me to look at a particular book, and a book just kind of slid off the shelf and stuck out. And when I read it, it was in hieroglyphics, but somehow, some way I translated it to English, to what I understand. And it talked about Hathor. And I had never heard of her as a goddess. I had never heard of her in all of my like research, because again, I still very new to like the metaphysical and spiritual realm, and learning about all of these different things that have been kept from me. And I don't know, I remember waking up, or not, excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. When I picked up the book, I read the name and I was like, Hathor. I was like, and in my mind, in my mind's eye, I'm thinking like, oh, this is, my mind just kind of fabricating something, making up a name or whatever. Cause you know how when we dream, we are the creators and curators of our dreams. Like we can control what we dream if we, have the right intentions and the right mindset. And so once I got the book, I stepped back out the portal, and Anubis bowed to me. And that was something that also stuck out to me, because I was like, whoa, like what, like what is going on? And then he disappeared, the portal disappeared. And all I remember was seeing a cord attached to me. And I literally phased and walked right back through my bedroom wall into my body. So that's why I say I don't necessarily feel like it was a dream per se. I feel like I astral traveled outside of my body in real time. That's what I feel. So and when I woke up from said dream, astral projection, whatever you want to call it, I literally woke up with that name on my mind, like Hathor, you got to research Hathor. And so literally this probably like 2, 3 in the morning, I woke up and I started researching, and sure enough, I was shocked to find out that this was a real goddess. This was a real deity that's been worshipped for a very long time under many different names. But ultimately that what she stood for was like not mother nature, but the mother of the gods. That her animal is supposed to be like the cow, and that she would give the gods her milk, and that's how they would sustain themselves. It was a lot that I learned. So I'm just briefly going over some of the stuff that I learned about her, and that basically she was known as a goddess to just be very like free spirited, lighthearted, that, but she also had like a nasty side to her, or like a dark side to her too. I think the other deity or female deity and the like alternate ego of her is a Sekhmeth, which is supposed to be, I believe it's the lioness headed goddess, who tends to have like a bloodlust. And like there's certain things and rituals and stuff that have to be done to calm her back down and bring her back to herself, so to speak. So I thought that was really interesting, because I had never heard of her ever. So when I researched all that and I found out this was a real entity, being, goddess, whatever you want to call it, and then that I'm dreaming about her, or dreaming about being told to learn about her, it kind of it really struck my interest into getting into Egyptology, because and learning more about Egypt, because for the longest time I actually rejected learning like Egyptology, in the sense of that I personally could have a lineage or anything like that to it, just because of my Christian background and all of the things that, of course, if you were raised Christian or brought up in the church or whatever, you learn the stories about, how the Egyptian pharaoh wouldn't let God's people go, and so on and so forth. So I personally had always like kind of rejected that, because I was like, oh, well, some people would just naturally gravitate towards Egyptology. And I know, like, getting the eye of like either Horus or Ra and stuff like that. And I used to look at it as, oh, that's bad, that's evil, oh. But now, actually having, done research and learning more about these gods, beings, deities, entities, whatever you want to call it, there's actually a lot to unpack. And I'm the type of person, like, if I learn something about someone or something and it doesn't trek, then I have to throw everything out and start fresh. Um, if it doesn't make sense to me, because I'm the type of person that I feel like if something is inherently true, it should just simply make sense. It should just simply fall into place. People shouldn't have to work so hard to know the truth, in my opinion. But I recognize that the times that we're in these days, there is a lot of knowledge that is hidden from us, or has been hidden with whatever intentions behind it. But there's a lot that we don't know about a lot of things. And of course, with me personally going on this journey, it's been eye opening and it's been very sobering and humbling at the same time. I know some people like, oh, that's fairy tales. I don't believe in that. That's poppycock, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but I'm also the type of person that I believe there's a little bit of truth to every folklore, myth, legend. You have it. There is a little bit of truth in everything. So I don't just rule it out 100% unless, like I said, it just absolutely doesn't make sense, doesn't add up. So back to, like I said, Anubis, I felt like that was him calling to me to go deeper and to research more, because I had always been drawn to like Thoth, and like I said, learning about the Emerald Tablets, and then learning that he's supposed to be the god that represents wisdom and knowledge and seeking after knowledge and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's literally how I see myself. I'm a person that um, prides herself on learning and being a student and forever researching and studying various different things and topics. And I know to some that can seem like, oh, it's a waste of time, especially if you're not specializing in something in particular. But that's the beauty about life. Like, it's supposed to be about learning whatever it is that you want to learn. We don't have to limit ourselves to just one thing or one area of study. Just like I'm here, researching about this today, I could be researching about something else tomorrow, which oftentimes does happen with me. That's why I pick up certain research and or hobbies and stuff like that. And then I put those down and I go back to some other hobbies and I come back, so that's just the way that I operate and the way that I process things. But my whole intention is to learn the best side about anything that I'm learning. So I'm not necessarily researching this because I'm like, oh, I want to, know how to hex and curse people. And like, it's not about stuff like that for me. I believe whatever karma, whatever seed someone is sowed, good or bad, is going to come back to them. So there's really not much I have to do. For me, a lot of the stuff that I tend to gravitate towards is protection. Because like, I don't know if you guys can see it now, but I put up a drawing of a sunflower that I actually did on my backyard, and I put it as my green screen. So if it's coming through properly, you might be able to faintly see it, but that's actively what I have on my wall. And I also have some other protection runes and imagery and stuff like that on my back wall, again, to just foster more protection. Not because I'm trying to hex or anything like that, because I'm not into that. I know that there are people that are into that sort of stuff, but I'm not one of them. And then, like, of course, like the practice of like throwing salt over your shoulder to get rid of bad spirits, or, evil eye, putting up evil eyes to, ward off anybody or anything sending evil intentions or evil vibes or whatever. Like, I'm all about just putting up more protections on the spiritual aspect. Of course, we have man-made things that, if we need to, that we can have to physically protect. But what I'm dealing with mostly is spiritual. So therefore, that's why I'm gravitating towards spiritual protection, because I know, as the Bible does say, that we don't wrestle with flesh and blood, but with spirits and principalities, and a lot of this stuff that we don't understand. And in a way, we've kind of been intentionally kept from knowing how to protect ourselves from the spiritual aspect, because immediately most people's impression is, oh, that's evil, or that's bad, or oh, that's, I don't mess with that occult stuff. But occult just means someone who's seeking hidden knowledge, like it's hidden wisdom. It's not evil inherently. But as we know, man can take things and pervert it and use it for evil. And that oftentimes is what the case ends up being, which is why a lot of this knowledge that we're supposed to have access to, that everyone is supposed to be able to tap into, gets a bad rep. Um, and I don't want to go too far into that rabbit hole, because again, there's so much more I could share, but I'm very much so aware of what platform I'm on, and I want to make sure. Um, sorry, try to sneak in that. I definitely want to make sure that I'm respectful of the guidelines, and then also those who still resonate with the religious realms, you know, and that's absolutely fine. Like, we all have our own beliefs and what we believe and what we feel we know to be true. But me, I'm all about researching and finding out more things for myself. I'm not the type of person that needs someone to sit up and to tell me what to believe, what to think, what to feel. Um, because naturally, I'm gonna do the hard work myself. I'm gonna research myself. And like I said, having a history of coming from the religious spheres, I know everything that entails, and I can admit, like, for a great deal of that, I was in autopilot. It's and that's how it tends to go, because you have so many people telling you what to think, what to believe, what to say, how to feel. So you don't really have to do any of the heavy lifting on your own. But naturally, that didn't last, because I am a voracious, curious person, like I always have been. And when things don't add up to me, I won't get it. So therefore, I'm the type of person that I'm going to keep working at it until it makes sense, or until I can find the correct answers. And so far, me learning about these types of things, I feel like haven't been leading me wrong. If anything, I feel like they're just more tools under my belt to help me continue to develop my own, like I said, spiritual gifts, abilities, and then broadening my mind, and not being so close minded about things, because it's really easy to just want to stay in your comfort zone and to be afraid to try new things because of our fears. But I have learned that, fears only hold us back. If we aren't willing to just at least investigate it for ourselves, then we're doomed to having a closed mind. And like I said, I'm calling myself out in this, because I too used to be one of those people like, oh no, I don't want to, I'm not doing that. So, I've come a long way. Because for example, like with the evil eye, I first originally got introduced to it from my youngest sister, because she had bought like a evil eye pillow. And she was like, oh yeah, it's supposed to be like good luck. And, and I'm just like, oh, and, of course, like I said, I was still in the church, so to speak. So I immediately was like, nope, nope. Because I said, if it's something good, why is it called evil? Like, no, no. But again, that's just one of those things. Like, I can't help that that's the name that it goes by. But after learning the intentions behind it, I'm like, oh, okay, I do understand it. They call it evil eye because that's what someone or something is sending towards you. So you're just flipping it around and sending it right back to sender. And that's all that it is. So basically, kind of like that that old saying kids used to say at the playground, like, oh, I'm like rubber and you're like glue. Whatever you say to me bounces off of me and hits you, or what. It's kind of like that. So, of course, not being enlightened to that knowledge, I immediately rejected it. And so I get it. Most people would instantly reject stuff like that. I also, I do practice saging. I do use Palo Santo. I do burn candles, not necessarily for a spiritual reason, but just because I like to burn candles. Um, but we all have our things, our traditions, our rituals that we do on a day-to-day basis that people wouldn't even consider being magic or wouldn't consider being ritualistic, but it is. If you are the type of person that you have to tap your doorknob 3 times before you walk out the door because it's good luck to you, that's a ritual. That's something that you do because you believe if you don't do it, something bad might happen. Same thing like with superstitions and stuff like that, like how certain people don't want to walk under ladders because they say it's bad luck. Or what's another one, like breaking a mirror, um crossing a black cat. There's so many, and it's like we really should start to, if we're interested in it, we really should start to investigate, where did all these type of superstitions and sayings, where did they come from? Like what started all this? Because sometimes when you trace this stuff back, it'll the origins of it will be something so simple and innocent, but somehow it got blown into this to this big thing. Like, oh yeah, we must not do it because our Uncle Tommy from the 1950s, ran across a cat and died, got hit by a bus or something. You get what I'm saying? So it's like we sometimes can allow things like that to kind of get blown out of proportion. So if you're a person that really wants to seek that deeper knowledge behind that stuff, you got to go under the under the surface. You can't just stay at surface level with a lot of this stuff. And that's exactly how I was originally. I was just on the surface. If something's had the word evil, I'm like, nope, 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 without even further, investigating. But I try not to be, like I said, so closed-minded about stuff like that. I still do have my limits with certain things, but I try not to be closed-minded. Like I just love to learn. I love to find out as much as I can about things and about myself and my surroundings. Like I just have always been a curious person. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to share when it comes to, the spiritual side of what I'm into right now. Again, you guys could check back in with me next week and I'll probably be on something else. But the good thing about it is I always come back to it somehow, some way. And that's how you kind of got to do, so you don't get too wrapped up, because I know I definitely can like go down rabbit holes with some of this stuff. And I tend to get like hyper fixated, especially when it's something I'm super interested about. But I have to remember to come up for air every now and again. So, today I just, like I said, just sharing some more stuff that I'm into, trying to help you all to get to know me a little better, in the way that I think, and just who I am. And if you resonate with what I'm talking about, or if you like this type of stuff, like it's definitely not something I'm shy about. So feel free, if you want to hit me with any type of questions, or any type of, what's the word I'm looking for? Any type of questions, or if we want to have like a powwow session about stuff like this is the type of stuff I love to talk about. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Like I said, learning from, like for instance, Dr. Delbert Blair I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy his lectures. I just loved everything the way about that, how that man how that man thought about things, and how he was able to dismantle so many things that he too had to kind of shed himself from, because he originally started off as like a Baptist preacher. He actually went to seminary, got, had his degree and all of that good stuff, actually had a church. But when he as I from his account, paraphrasing again, he basically went on to say that as time went on and he would, get up there preaching from the Bible and just researching these things on his own, he was like, some things just still didn't make sense to him, didn't add up. And he felt like it was his duty to investigate, um, filling in those holes for himself. And that's kind of what I did myself. I did the exact same. For me, it started with the Book of Enoch. And that really helped fill in some holes and help me further investigate, things. So I really am all about that. Like if something doesn't make sense, if something doesn't add up to you, investigate that. Like don't be afraid to look into that. Great. No, I am not lesbian. And I don't take offense to that. Because I know I can be masculine presenting when I need to be. But it's all good. Don't worry about it. I am very much so married to a wonderful man. So but don't worry about it. It's all good. So let's see. But yeah, so my whole thing is with Dr. Blair, everything about his lectures I really enjoy because he just gives it to you straight. And I know when he would have his lectures, it can go over some people's heads. Like, but me being the thinker that I am, like I 100% always understood what he meant. And, and if you're not familiar with his metaphysics studies and stuff like that, I would encourage you, if you're into that type of stuff, look him up. Like you can find a lot of his lectures right here on YouTube. And of course, like I said, he unfortunately is no longer with us, but his protege, Mr. Tony Vortex, is keeping his essence alive in that sense and running the shop that he left behind as a legacy. And I recently just patronized, and that's actually where I got the Oracle deck from, as well as some other things that I got from there. And I don't know, I've always resonated with stuff like that. And then, like I said, and then from him, I learned about Bobby Hemmett, which I recognized he had been in the trenches a very long time, trying to educate and inform the people about the esoteric knowledge that he was coming across, and just trying to empower people to wake up to themselves. And again, I'm paraphrasing because I know the type of teacher he is. He can be really raw and uncut. So if you're not the type of person who could take, having someone being super passionate about what they're talking about, then he's probably, Dr. Blair is probably more your speed then, because he's a little more calm of speech and a little more concise with how he would present his lectures and things like that. So, those two in particular are some of the first ones I kind of got introduced to. I also, Mr. I know I'm going to get his first name wrong because I always do. I say it wrong. But Mr. Lani Africa, or Leilani Africa. I hope I'm saying it right. But I also bought his book. Was it the African Studies book, or where it's basically like it's like a huge encyclopedia book that just gives you all of these herbals and remedies for things, and of course knowledge that it teaches us about the proper things we should be putting in our bodies, or what we should or shouldn't be ingesting, and then like medicines and how they might impact the body and stuff like that. So I kind of been touching on a lot of different areas, a lot of different teachers. And let's see, who else? I'm saying my my mind goes like really deep when I get into these type of studies, because it's pretty much how I occupy my time when I'm not dealing with everyday the everyday mundane things. But these are the types of things I like to do in my spare time. And that's why I say like everything that I love and want is right here in my home. So that's why I do like being home most of the time. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I hope you all can, for those of you who are interested in all that, I hope you get where I'm coming from. And if not, if you get a chance, check out some of those lectures and stuff like that. Because trust me, it, it's interesting stuff. I will tell you that if you're interested in broadening your horizon, learning more about self, that's just like me. I was always drawn to like yoga, and I never realized that there was a spiritual aspect to yoga in regards to like your chakras and all of that type of stuff. So like I definitely have been learning more and more about stuff like that, being interconnected. And this is stuff that I naturally was already gravitating towards. So to find out that it's all interconnected somehow is really like quite awesome. Um, let's see. Mm. But yeah, I don't want to hog the time. What do you all want to talk about? Because I know I can talk, especially about stuff like this. I can go on and on and on. Anybody have anything they wanted to talk about? Let me see in the comments. I feel like feel like I'm calling someone out in the class. I'm not trying to. I don't want to put nobody on the spot. So if you don't want to, it's okay. Connection to either two. Yeah, Warrior of Lifetimes. It's only something recently that I've been feeling drawn to and towards. But yes, it's really interesting. And that's just like I forgot to mention about like pyramid power and learn about like and I believe just recently they discovered something under the pyramid of Giza, the aquifers or something like that. So it's like it's kind of crazy how, more and more people are feeling these kind of connections to these things, and then in real time we're seeing some of this stuff reactivating and coming back to the main focal point, um, and kind of turning everyone's attention back towards it. That's why I'm excited. Like I feel like these are really exciting times that we're in. Like yeah, we got a lot of like scary stuff going on too, but there's a lot of fascinating stuff happening also, and I choose to focus on that, me personally, like opposed to the negative. I of course have my opinions about stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm like me focusing on that isn't gonna fix or change anything. So I rather focus on again continuing to be the change that I want to see in the world, at least the best way I can, because I'm only one person too. So, but yeah, so hold on, what we got here? All right, huh? You okay? No, I was just meant so is it Zoe? I hope I'm saying it right. So what I was just saying that I always was kind of drawn to doing yoga. Um and it is something I do like not as much as I used to, but I do enjoy the practice of yoga. Um but I was never like a diehard. Like anything I do is always at my level and to my comfort level with stuff like that. But I ended up getting introduced to Ayurvedics through just like changing up like the toothpaste and stuff like that I was using. I started using more of an Ayurvedic toothpaste, where it's more so like neem based instead of fluoridated toothpaste. Same thing with like mouthwash. And then also I believe just the focus on trying to use herbals wherever possible in lieu of modern medicines and or like over the counter stuff. There's pretty much, a natural solution to everything, but I recognize that not everyone has access to that knowledge and or is aware of those things, which yeah, it reminds me home. Let me get my apothecary book, because I did say I was gonna wait. I did say I was gonna mention that. Yeah, so my apothecary book, which I also, hold on, I'm trying to make sure it focus. Okay, there we go. Which I'm also trying to make sure that you all know that I also got this from the Mediciner website, which is run by Tony Vortex. Again, and nothing I'm saying, I know I keep saying it, but nothing I'm saying and talking about any of these products are, I've purchased with my own funds. None of this is sponsored or none of that. I really like the brand. I really like the site and all that stuff. So that's why I keep mentioning it. But this is basically a book of different herbs and basically the benefits, like the benefits that they can serve for you. So like for example, what we got here. Trying to find one I feel like most people would know about, or that's like a popular one. Parsley. Okay, so mullein. So, for those of you who aren't aware, mullein, it says also known as great mullein, is common, is a biennial herb known for its tall, dense spikes of yellow flowers and soft, velvety leaves. And it actually breaks it down, gives a good description. It gives location where you can find it, the type of growing conditions that it tends to grow in, traditional uses. It says historically, mullein has been used for its effectiveness in treating respiratory conditions. It has been used in traditional medicine as a remedy for bronchitis, asthma, pneumonia, and coughs. The leaves are often used to make teas, tinctures, or smoked to relieve chest congestion. And then it goes over scientific benefits as well as metaphysical uses. So they actually break it down a little further. Hold on. Focus. Wait, I don't think I can get focus. But yeah, they actually break it down a little more there. Because I actually have other herbal remedy books, but this actually adds a component that I don't have in those books, which includes the metaphysical side. So, but yeah, so and that's something else I'm trying to get into, is like I showed you all yesterday who were able to see my little garden. I'm working on trying to get my herbs growing, my herb garden going. Ironically, it's like I'm having such a good go around getting everything else to grow but the gosh darn herbs. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I'm gonna keep working at it, and or if the seeds that I have are viable or not. But I'm gonna keep plugging away at it until I can get some decent herbs to grow, so that I can eventually, store or dehydrate them and blend them up and all that good stuff, so I can preserve them and keep them. Because that's another reason I was wanting to start growing my own herbs in my garden and stuff like that. And even with that, I'm very much so a novice. Prior to now, I didn't think I had a decent green thumb. Pretty much anything green that I came in contact with, I killed, unfortunately. So I really thought that I wouldn't be able to grow anything. So this is like my third or fourth try, like over the years, trying to sustain the growth. And this is actually the first time I'm seeing progress. So I'll be so excited if I'm able to get anything to come to harvest out there, which again, that's still not everything. I still have some seeds that are germinating. I believe I have some onion, some red and yellow onion. I'm trying to germinate watermelon seeds. What else? Parsley, cantaloupe seed. So I put like 4 cantaloupe seeds in a bag, and I only have one that's actually sprouting right now. So again, I think it's just more so like the quality of the seeds, and I know that is important. And I do have some heirloom seeds, but I'm kind of trying to use up the dummy seeds first before I break into my heirlooms, because as we know, those are pretty hard to come by. and I definitely don't want to blow through those. So it's like I'm okay with using the non-heirloom seeds as the test dummies, at least for now, until I can find my stride. Avocado. So Warrior Lifetime says avocado was hard for them. Yeah, I've tried an avocado seed in the past, and I just grew so impatient because I didn't realize like fruit trees and seed, they take so long to fruit. Like it takes years to get them to actually start producing fruit. So, and plus, with me being a renter, at least for now, I always worry like, oh, how am I going to transport it from here to there, and will it live? Will it die? So, I think I gave it like a month, and then I was like, yeah, I'm over this because nothing never sprouted. But I recognize now that it needed more time. I didn't know that then. I was impatient. But yeah, just slowly but surely, I've been trying to broaden my horizons, getting into things like even if I'm not good at it, giving it a shot anyway, because it's like, what's the worst that could happen? I gain some skills, and like I said, with the gardening, I really feel like that's something that we all should at least know how to grow something. If we all like, I know the original tip was to just focus on one type of crop, but the type of person I am, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that because I want to see growth from all of these different types of plants because the hope is to be able to replace buying a lot of these plants from like the grocery stores and stuff like that. If I can, grow them on my own, then that's one less expense I got to worry about paying out for. And I know, especially when it comes to fruit, because like myself and my sons, we, don't leave any good fruit around us because we'll eat it up. Like we love fruit. That's something that you don't have to worry about. And same thing with good veggies, because I remember I used to have a rotation for my family where I would try to introduce a new fruit and a new vegetable like once a week. And more so like exotic fruits and vegetables that, you don't typically find like in the States. So sometimes I would be ordering stuff in or going to like local farmers markets and coming across stuff that I was like, oh, I've never heard of this before, and would pick it up and take it home, and or it's just stuff I never, had growing up. But that's one thing I can say that I'm grateful for, that my mother, she definitely broadened my sister's like horizons with vegetables and stuff like that, like, eating rutabaga and eggplant, which I know to some people's like eggplant is an exotic, but for me, where I grew up, like, yeah, it's not something that you regularly saw at someone's, dinner table. So so it's like, yeah, and I still kind of try to do my best with that even now, introducing my boys to new things, and not being afraid to give them a try. But yeah, gardening it's been interesting so far, I will say that much, but I'm happy I'm having some progress with it finally. Feels good to see little green leaves and then seeing them grow their true leaves, which lets me know like you're a step closer to actually getting a decent harvest, hopefully. So, like I said, I get real excitable about simple stuff like that, and that's just, I don't know, like it's just how I've always been. But I know I've kind of like I don't want to say off topic because there is no real topic. I'm just trying to see what we're all into and kind of expand upon that. But I appreciate anyone who stuck with me through the little technical difficulties in the beginning. I apologize about that. I'm working on it. I promise you I am. Like for me right now, it's been trying to peg down what new phone I want to invest in that I can dedicate solely to my channel, for future lives and just content and stuff like that. Because I don't know, I find myself not being not wanting to do Android or iOS per se. I mean, I'm not an iOS person. That much I do know, but I actively have Android, but I don't know, it just doesn't. mm, Kind of looking at like other options, but I know with that it probably comes with a bigger price tag. So so that's why it might take a little longer. But I'm gonna keep doing my best with what I got until then. Let's see. So let me see. Hmm. We talked about Egyptology. We talked about tarot, all that good stuff. Oh, well, that's great for you. Able to get a phone on Black Friday. Man, if I was thinking straight, I should have did the same. But I wasn't. Cause I'm so stubborn. Like when it comes to my electronics, like I pride myself on taking care of my electronics. And that's why it's like I'm the type of person like if I have something, like I'm gonna make sure that it's good. So I don't have to constantly run out and get something new because I don't like to have to start from scratch every time with with something new. My bad, guys. Trying to move my foot. But yeah, I'm so hard headed because my husband's been telling me to get something newer and been trying to get me something newer, but I just been like, no, no, I don't want it. My phone still works. And he's like, yeah, but it's slow. I'm like, yeah, but it still works. Like I don't know. I just have a hard time letting go of my electronics, especially if I feel like it's been good to me. And or if I don't feel like I've like utilized all of it all the way. And that's how I feel about my phone, but I think it definitely is time for something better or a little newer, I should say. Hmm. Trying to think. So with the lunar eclipse, anybody planning on trying, or I don't know if the US is in the path to be able to see it, or if there's certain states. That's what I said. I hadn't really checked up on it. I just kind of saw it in passing that it was supposed to be taking place today. But is anyone planning on checking that out? Mm. So Lifetime says weather is bad there. And that you said hackers did your last one. And yeah, I can relate. I can relate, but it's all good. Sure, I just kind of look. I'm starting to look at all that type of stuff as a mini blessing. Just help push me to something newer. So, um, sure, I might have to when I get off the live. I might have to see because I don't know if we're supposed to be able to see it here in Arizona, but I might have to see if we will be able to see it. I'm not sure. Because that's one thing I can say, like the views out here are so beautiful. I really love just like looking out into the night sky out here and seeing the mountains and all that. Like it's such a stark difference from, Florida, which is where I'm from originally. So any opportunity I get to be able to just go out there and just look at the sky, like I take it. Um, let's see. So Warrior of Lifetimes asks, do I like listening or crystal bowls and Tibetan bowls? Yes, it's actually something fairly new I've been introduced to through my studies. And I do listen, I do have sorry. I do try to listen to high frequency music and or sounds because I believe from what I researched, it's supposed to have like a healing effect and benefit on the body and the mind and spirit. and all that good stuff. Not like necessarily a daily thing, but it's something just lately I've been trying to do a little more of. Also I like having background noise. So like I have like a white noise machine. So sometimes I'll run that. And I don't know, I just find it to be very peaceful. I know some people might feel like it's a nuisance, but I find it to be very peaceful. I don't know. I'm weird, I guess. But yeah, crystal bowls, like I definitely like feel like a resonance when they go off. I was considering like buying one, but I was like, yeah, I don't feel like I know enough about it yet to just jump in on that because I feel like that's kind of an investment. So found a new group called Sedona Crystal Temple on YouTube. Okay. Sure, I'm gonna have to check them out because I normally just randomly key in high frequency this or that, and then just whatever it brings up, I click on that. Hmm. Let me see. Oh, let's see. So yeah, you said a lot of content, listening to high frequency now. Yeah, I mean, from what I understand is that it really is been a more beneficial for us um in the long run, and it helps it actually can, from some accounts, from what I've seen, it says it can heal certain aspects or certain things that we have that's wrong. So I don't know, like I personally feel like centered when I listen to that type of music or sounds. Yep, chakras aligning. Yep. And like I said, I'm still very new with a lot of that stuff too. That's why I don't pretend to act like I'm some professional at it, because I'm definitely not. I'm still very much so a novice, but I try. I'm a soul believer in, you know better, you do better, and you just try to do your best to improve. I know I recently learned about what are they called, sound baths, and then like, what was it, spiritual baths or something like that, where you like take a, like, I guess like a Epsom salt bath, where it's supposed to be like a cleansing, like purging type thing. So crystals is definitely something I started getting into right before we moved out here. Um, if I'm gonna be honest with you, I've always liked shiny rocks. So so it was literally right up my alleyway. Because I'm like that now, like especially being out here in the desert, like when we do go on hikes and stuff, that's me and my whole family. We're just like looking and, oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Because we just, I don't know, we like shiny things, but then learning about what they all do and the benefits that they have. And I definitely know that stuff is true, because like when I wear my amethyst, my amethyst crystal, I definitely feel like calm, love, centered, like radiating good energy, good vibes. And then because I own what, two or three, and then there's been a few, or there's been more than a few, that my family and I, like I said, have collected when we would like go on hikes and trails and stuff. So um but yeah, we're all into rocks or crystals, if you will. Let's see. So K Vicky, Epsom salt helps detox metals from the body and neutralize nanotech. Oh, well, I didn't know about nanotech part, but I definitely knew about the detox. Because that's something I try to do every now and again. Says yes, I make sage water, oil, and salt scrub. Okay. And then, am I Christian? No, I am a reformed Christian. Well, I won't say reformed Christian. That makes it sound like I'm still in the realms, but no, I no longer practice Christianity. in terms of a religion. Oh, hi, Ashley. I'm Ashley. Could donate. You wish you could donate. Why so? That's the one thing I don't feel comfortable doing is getting on here asking you guys for money like that. I know a lot of other YouTubers are okay with that, but that's something that still doesn't doesn't sit right with me. I definitely like working for my dollar in my own way. But yeah, you should grow sage. I have never considered that, but that's actually not a bad idea. Lifetimes. I don't know. I got to find out how difficult of a crop that is, or herb that is, because I already told you about my struggles. I already told you the struggles I've been having. Vicky asked why. Can you ask why about what particularly? Religious Christ protects us from negativity. Oh, you mean ask why I no longer practice Christianity? Is that what you mean? Lavender is hard. I overwork. Oh shoot! I didn't consider lavender. That would be a good one to add to my garden. Why you lost a what? A why you stopped believing Christian? I kind of So good question, Vicky. But I kind of touched on this earlier. It has a lot to do with the esoteric knowledge that I've learned on my journey and my own personal studies. Whereas when I was within the Christian sphere, I was never really encouraged to seek outside of the Bible. So I believe I've stated this in a previous video that I've always had a longing, if you will, to know more about God, etc. And I believe because of my upbringing that Christianity, or going to church, was the only way to do that. But of course, with me learning more so about spirituality in these last few years, I learned that the God that we seek is within us. He's literally with us. He, she, the God Mother, God Father. Like, there's so much to a lot of that we oftentimes aren't told about within those walls, if you will. And I know some people are just comfortable with just surface level Christianity and just surface level scriptures and all that. But I'm the type of person, I like to go deep. I like to get down to the root and to the bottom of things. So for me, it didn't I got to a point where it did not make sense. And as I stated earlier, I'm the type of person, if 1+1 is not equaling 2, I throw it all out. Now, don't misunderstand me, because just because I don't practice Christianity does not mean that I don't believe that there is a creator, a supreme being, because I do. However, as I've stated before, I just don't believe it. I don't believe everything about Christianity the way that it's been presented to us. And I know for me also, it's a lineage thing, with the history of my people in particular, with the Bible, and how my people have been manipulated with said scriptures into servitude and slavery and all those type of things. So there's just a lot that I had to dismantle in order to get to where I am now. Because believe it or not, it was a struggle. It was not something that was easy for me to do, if I'm being completely honest. Because I felt so like wrong originally, but then as I continued to research, as I continued to seek those truths out, the creator continued to reveal more and more and more to me. So I just, like I said, I don't practice Christianity in terms of like going to anyone's church, no longer taking communion or anything like that, because I recognize that even within Christianity, you have your denominations and the different denominations that practice different things. But I no longer subscribe to any of that. But does not mean that I don't believe that there's not a God or gods, etc. Because there's so much more I would like to say, but I know I can't, or at least not here. I can't say it here, but there's so much more. Like I wish, sometimes I wish I could just pull the knowledge out of my head and just throw it at people so they could see, oh, so that's why and then people would just get it. But it's a lot to explain. But trust me when I tell you, Vicky, it was not a lighthearted decision. And honestly, I don't believe that God has ever called us to be in a church and organized religion. None of that. I believe a lot of that has been man-made for purposes I can't say, because I don't want to get blocked or banned or anything like that, or labeled some whack job conspiracy nut. But I'm telling you, there's a lot more than what you're being told, likely in those churches, synagogues, kingdom halls, whatever you want to call them. There's a lot more. And again, I feel like this isn't it's not a problem that I created. So I don't feel like it's any one person's job to fix it. However, this is why we all have to search these things out for ourselves, because even the scriptures tell us that we have to study to show ourselves approved. And a lot of times people don't hardly even do that. They only open their Bibles up when they go to church on Sunday, maybe on Wednesdays if they have Bible study Wednesdays or whatever, whatever organization that how they structure that. But a lot of people don't really search for truth outside of when they're told to, But good question. And thank you for that. Because that's literally what today is about. Just, I'm open within reason, of course, to answering those types of questions. Don't shy away from that. But don't misunderstand. I absolutely am okay with anyone else who chooses to practice, within those realms. Like, I'm not going to sit here and judge you if you're still choosing to be a part of it or not. Like, that's not my place to tell you what to do or whatever. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up in the comments here. I mean, I know there are a lot of fake Christians. Yeah, that's true. I believe that too. Yeah, power of God within. That's very agree. My cat likes you. He went up to my phone and is watching you. Oh, what's your cat's name? Lifetimes. That's sweet. Nugget. That's cute. Well, tell Nugget I said hello. Yeah, see, that's I guess that's a funny story. I can lead off of that. So thank you, Lifetimes. You gave me another idea to share something. So I used to be a cat lover growing up. I've had 3 or 4 cats in my lifetime thus far, since my youth. And there was one cat in particular I was super fond of. I consider her my fur daughter growing up. Her name was Twinkles. I named her. And I used to braid the hair on her tail and put beads on it. And I really loved this cat. And unfortunately, she ended up getting injured to a point where she was no longer with us, because my mother gave her back to her friend who had given her to us. And we ended up finding out, I guess it was a terrible accident. A wild hog got to her. I don't know how it happened, but I was distraught. So for the longest time, I was like, oh, I like cats, but I don't, I was kind of scarred from that. I was like, I don't want any more cats. And then my husband and I, in the very like early stages of our marriage, we used to live in this historic district in our hometown. And it was a house, it was an older home that was like converted into a 2-story apartment, where we used to live on the bottom or the floor level, and we had someone that lived above us. And the home was raised on cinder blocks. So we had a lot of stray cats in the area. They would always like go up under our home, especially during a lot of stray cats that would go up under our home. And they would oftentimes fight under the home. So we could feel them like thumping up against the boards and stuff. And sometimes we actually, or on one occasion, one summer, there was a cat that actually died up under there, and the smell was so bad. And so it got to the point where like it was so many of them, and we were dealing with it all the time, that my husband was like, oh my God, like we don't never see another cat again. And so that's what started me like being anti-cat. But deep down in my heart of hearts, like I love cats. Like I love animals in general. Like I've never just been so like cold and heartless about animals until, I had that experience. Cause I don't know, it was a lot that we had to deal with, and trying to figure out how to get to this cat under our house. And then they would just like always go up under the house and fight. And it was so bad. Like I like to think about the cartoons where the cats will be fighting and they're rolling around and that's literally how they would be fighting. They'd be ripping fur would be flying. It was bad. But our house was like a magnet for feral stray cats. I have no idea why. And I know I would do my part to like try to like coax them from up under the home with like food and stuff, but they wouldn't go for it. They never would go for it. And I would have to call like animal control for like the traps so they could capture them and take them. But those cats were really smart. Like they weren't going for it. So yeah, I know like I was like so anti-cat, but like I was like, girl, who you fooling? Like, you love cat. Because I instantly turned to like, oh, I love dogs. And I'm like, and don't get me wrong, I've always liked dogs, but I don't know. I feel like just especially like being on my spiritual journey, it brought me back to loving cats. Because I think the cat that really brought me back was this Egyptian Mao that would frequently visit our apartment when we were in San Diego. What was it, 2023, 2020, like into 2024. And it would like randomly like just come by the house, and we would see it on our doorbell cam. And I was like, oh my gosh, this cat is so beautiful. I don't know where it's coming from. And my husband, I was like, oh, you know what? One day if it comes back, we're gonna try to coax it in, and we're gonna take him in. Because he was just so beautiful. And then, when I started looking up like the spiritual meanings behind like being visited by certain animals or bugs or cats in this particular instance, and then I learned about the connection that the Egyptian Mouse have to like Egypt and stuff like that. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like this might somehow be interconnected. And yeah, that's me. Like I tend to try to connect dots to things, and that's just the way I work. And I recognize it could have just been a cat just coming, but it was like that a lot. Like we were always getting a lot of cats and just animals in general coming to that apartment. But that cat for sure like made me start loving cats again, because I was like, oh my gosh, like he's so gorgeous. He's so long and linky and just seemed like such a sweet cat. But yeah, I don't know. I've had so many phases of like disliking things and then coming back to it, and I don't know. Like it's like if I feel that in the moment, then it's like okay, but and then I guess kind of like same thing with like dogs, because of course like with all the shenanigans I was dealing with people using their dogs at that apartment, my husband and I were like having to put out like what is it, like the deterrent sprays to keep the dogs away from like the peeing and urinating and defecating up by our door. But again, it was never anything that we were trying to harm the dogs or whatever. It just sucks that they got, poor human caretakers, but we're not, we don't hate animals. I don't hate animals. At the end of the day, I just believe that, if it's me or an animal, it's gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like it's like, how can you not? It's kind of like the little girl on the group. It's like, oh, it's so fluffy. It's like, how can you not? Like, I'm just, because I often say that, like, oh, it's getting to be that time again. I need some furry love. I need to go to a pet store or something, and I need to rub on a little cat or parakeet. Because we did that before we left San Diego to come here, and we ended up seeing these chinchillas, which I didn't even know they sell chinchillas in pet stores, because that is not a thing in Florida. But in San Diego, they had some chinchillas at the pet store, and I was like, oh my God, it's so cute. I was like, I didn't know they sold chinchillas at the store. And I was like, babe, can we get them? And, of course, he saw the price tag. He was like, okay, maybe. And then when we learned that I forget what that phrase is, where it's like they have to be in pairs. Otherwise, they get like super depressed or whatever. When I learned that, and he was like, okay, wait, we got to get two. He was like, maybe, maybe not. So we didn't end up getting them, but we definitely have been jonesing for another pet. But yeah, and the cat has definitely been on the list. I know my husband was like, he really wants to get a what are they called? It's supposed to be like the biggest cat. Geez, I don't know. I'm having a brain fart right now. It is really like dang it, what are they called? But they're supposed to be like the dogs of the cat world. If any of you know what I'm talking about, that breed of cat, and they're supposed to get like really big. He was like, he would be okay with getting a cat like that, because I guess they also are a little more protective, and you can, I guess, do a little more with them. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of the name. That's so crazy. Yeah, it's not coming to me. Watch, as soon as I get off of here, I'm gonna remember. Oh my goodness. But yeah, he said he'd be down for us, getting one of those type of cats, because they can get really big from what we saw. I think it's more so the females tend to get really big, or really long, I should say. Hold on, let me see what you got here. They're a great company. Yeah, that's what I said. I just miss having something around, but at the same time, I'm kind of in this space where I'm like, whatever animal we get, I want it to choose us, because I'm all for, pets and stuff, but I'm also at a point, it's like, I don't want to feel like I'm keeping something captive. You get what I'm saying? Like, if it wants to roam, I want to let it roam. Of course, within the confines of the safety of the home and stuff like that, and the yard and stuff. But I don't want to make something, or make another creature feel like it's trapped or caged or anything. Like, I don't. And that's why I'm like, I'm okay with just going out and admiring them in the wild, if you will, and then, coming back to my respective abode. Oh my goodness. That was a big eyelash. Ah. But yeah. So yeah, that's my story time about cats. I definitely had a love-hate relationship with them, but they won me over again. So kudos to all the cat owners out there, y'all. Y'all are lucky. Sorry, I'm just kind of phased out there for a second. Which I hope everyone's enjoying this live. Us just shooting the breeze, just coming up with stuff as it comes, or thinking of things to talk about as it comes. Just no pressure, because sometimes life should be a little more unstructured. That's where I find that creativity flows the most. Everything is always, go, 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 do. And it's like, I really believe if people had more time, had more energy, to do the things that they truly love to do, I feel like the world would really be a better place. I feel like we wouldn't have so much, craziness like we have going on, in my opinion. But at the same time, it's like, got to wake up and realize this is the world that we're in and just kind of roll with the punches. But remembering to stop and take time and take stock of what you need on a day to day basis and not feel bad for it, because there is no one way to get through this life. Like, absolutely, just do the best that you can, and that's all that you can do. And that's how I feel personally. I know I tend to have like my head in the clouds a little bit, about some things, and I get it. There are some people that's just more on the realism side. They tend to see things as black and white, but I don't know. I always like to think that there's a little gray area in there to kind of try to, break up the monotony a little bit. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Lifetimes. That's why I said I definitely wanted to be able to just get on here and converse a little more because, again, as a reminder for those who may have not tuned in to yesterday's live, that I don't necessarily have a structured video set for this upcoming week. However, I I'm trying to supplement with just checking in with the lives for right now while I'm working on my other projects that I'm hoping to get presented to you all sooner than later. But it's like my inner perfectionist keeps kicking in, so I'm just trying to just keep. Oh yeah, thank you, thank you. That is it. The main, yes, the main cat. That's the one. Thank you. Hello, Emily. But yeah, my husband said he would totally be down for that cat because he actually saw someone dressed up their main sea cat with like a knife sheath or something like that. And he just thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I was like, yeah, I could definitely see us having something like that running around the house as like a extra guardian or protector. Oh, hello, Jordan. Oh, thank you. Let's see. But yeah, I never was one for long-haired cats, but for them I would make an exception, I would have to say. I've always been more so a short-haired cat person. Like the Mao. Like I really love the way that the Mao looks and the temperament from what I've read, and that they're supposed to be really great companions. But I think they also have like a pretty good independent streak too. So Jordan, we just asking ladies their ages now these days. That's what we doing. What happened to never asking a lady her age? I look 18. Okie dokie. Well, I can assure you I'm not 18. I have an 18-year-old though. Let's see. So what else we getting into today? Or this evening, I should say. Let's see, let's see. Oh, any gamers in here? Like as far as like video game? Okay, so what are we playing? I'm more so into like Gears of War. That's my jam right there. I think they're supposed to be coming out with um a new one. I want to say if not this year, next year. My son tries to keep me informed on a lot of that. And I know we've been playing like Dead Island, which I know is kind of out of date right now, but due to some unforeseen circumstances, I had to kind of start over with that game. Fighting game. Oh no, fighting games are cool. I just suck at them. All I know how to do is grapple. That's all I know how to do. My younger sister. Oh my gosh, she used to whoop my behind religiously with fighting games. So I think that's another reason I'm not as big of a fan as I could be. But Mortal Kombat is definitely my jam for sure. Let's see. I love Sims, so PC gaming. I love Sims. Um, what's the other ones? Oh, all of the like Fable. I know I'm naming all this like stuff that's people probably don't even play anymore, but it just tells you how far removed I am from the up to date stuff because I just really haven't seen any games out there really catch my eye. I'm the type of person that I play stuff that I like. So if there's not nothing on sale or out that I like, then I just don't play it. But I am definitely into like zombie games. So Left 4 Dead. I don't know why I feel like I'm drawing a blank when I know there's so many other genres that I like. I definitely like playing like online Uno. Just haven't done it in a while. And then I like board games too. Moncala, Connect Four, Monopoly, which is a classic. I feel like everyone knows how to play Monopoly. Let's see. Oh yeah, what was it? Exploding Kittens, Death by Trolley, and what else? Charades, all that type of stuff. But yeah, video games, definitely a big fan. I just haven't been as into them lately though. Like I said, my son he's always wanting to play with me, but I don't know. I just have to kind of be in the mood for it. Shoot, most of the time I just like to research. I'm either on YouTube University, as I like to call it, or reading, studying my various different hobbies. I recently just picked back up my crocheting. I like to crochet. Mm. Oh man, what's going on? About to be 2 hours. Man, y'all been in here listening to me that long? Y'all ain't got nothing else y'all want to do? Cause I feel honored to have that many people in here listening to me. A diamond painting. Ooh, what's that? Oh, is that with the little jewels where you have to plug them in to the respective numbers? Is that what that is? Or you mean painting? Like Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I know you have patience. I know you have a very big patience because I have seen some really intricate ones. But I've actually never tried it. I might have to give that a try if my attention span lasts long enough to stick with it to see it through. I might shoot. I'm sure you probably have to like set it down or schedule what section you're going to do, what day, because there is no way I could probably do one of those in one sitting. But that's cool. Yeah. Coming up with new ways to express your creativity. I don't know why I'm getting so tongue tied all of a sudden. Honestly, being creative is what, keeps your brain young, keeps you spry. Here I am talking like I'm, a lot older than what I am, but I've always felt like a older person. If I'm being completely honest, I don't typically follow the pack of my counterparts. If I'm being completely honest, I just kind of always done my own thing and pretty much felt like an old soul. Yep, right on the nose. Always been an old soul. I know my grandfather used to tell me all the time that he felt like I was the wisest of my sisters and myself, and then um, that he just felt like I always was just very keen on certain things that most of like my other cousins or relatives never would like pick up on. And of course, growing up being told that type of stuff is like you really don't know what to do with that information. And I didn't really understand it more so until now. Of course, being much older and living life a little bit and going through some stuff. But I wear it with pride, me personally. Like I love being an old young lady. So hello, almond mocha. Thank you for joining in. I say, what else you all want to talk about? Or are we getting towards the end here? Because it's crazy. It's like once I get on here with you all, I swear time just like flies by. In between me, either trying to think of something to speak about um or asking you all what you want to talk about, and then it's like I look up and it's been an hour. Do I like dream catchers? I'm not really sure. I know what they are and I know what they represent, but I've never been like interested or drawn to like get one, or at least not in this moment. That always could change with me. So, but no, not necessarily. Roast us, please. What? Charlie the bunny? Can you roast us, please? What do you mean? Like be mean? Why would you intentionally want me to be mean? Because I don't like to have to get mean, especially unwarranted. Nah, on the channel we're trying to keep it fun, or trying to keep it funny. We're trying to keep it positive. I have to decline this time, Mr. the Bunny. But oh, if you would have been here last week, That would have been a different story. We chilling. Exactly. Respect the vibes. We trying to create good vibes up in here. Good vibes. No negativity. I got enough of that in my real life. Like, this is my oasis. This is where I come to escape all that. A relationship. Am I in a relationship? Charlie the Bunny asks. Anyone else want to get that question for this individual? No takers? Thank you. Somebody got, thank you, Warrior of Lifetimes. Appreciate you. And to make it clear, 16 years, my guy. 16 years. So I am very much so married, very much so spoken for. And I'm pretty sure there are a lot of wonderful young people out there that would love to have you. Oh boy. It's starting to feel like it's becoming a dating show. Yes, I am a mother. But in the spirit of trying to be open, I'm like 74. Okay. That is okay with me. I know some young ladies would take that to be offensive, but I don't. It just is a nod to my mental wisdom. So thank you. Yep. Humans tend to have them. So let's see. What else do we want to talk about? Besides the negativity that's trying to enter our positive space under the guise of jokes. Sure. You know, when you've been through as much as I have, it takes a lot to get you to a point where you want to explode. I was there last week. Like I said, if you would have came here last week, then right, it would have been right what you was looking for. But this week I'm back on track, so I'm good. I'm golden. Well, pony no, he would be in it. Okay. I don't know why. Where's all this negativity coming from all of a sudden? You know, hey, anybody got any sage? Y'all go ahead and sage on y'all end. I'm gonna get my sage too, so that they can see the door. Hello. It's Saturday. Yeah. Let's see. So I know we were talking about cats. We talked about the tarot. We talked about esoteric knowledge. We talked about Christianity. I would say anybody had any more questions for me, and with respect to any of those feels that we kind of already touched on? Oh yeah, which I, you know what, on another note, I did want to, or I believe I mentioned this yesterday about the gang stalker shorts. Yeah, I have more content like that coming. Um so if you enjoyed it, for those of us who know, you know, and just need a little laugh, I got more coming. So don't worry. I am a endless supply of laughter when it comes to stuff like that. Because I feel like that's where we are. We kind of got to laugh at this ish to get past it, and laugh at the people who choose to spend their time that way, trying to tear down other people unnecessarily. Warrior Lifetimes Reiki. I've heard of that, but I am not familiar. I want to say it's was like spiritual healing through your hands, correct? Or correct me if I'm wrong. Energy heal. Yeah, like kind of like with chi, like healing like that. Oh, using crystals. Yeah. Okay. So I've seen practices like that, but I have never like practiced it or had it done or anything like that. But I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it if I'm being completely honest. Is that something that you practice lifetimes? Yeah, actually, acupuncture is something I've always wanted to have done, but I just haven't done it. Finish your course. Okay. Oh, so you're trying to become a practitioner when it comes to the acupuncture? A healer? No, I've definitely heard that, especially within the chosen community, that there's some people, I guess they refer themselves as light workers, people who are sent here to heal the world, so to speak. Um, Lord knows I constantly heal from attack. Yeah, you kind of get good at it, right? When you're constantly coming under attack, just kind of like how I was there a few moments ago. Felt like that was completely unwarranted, but it's all good. I know I've been told that I have like a healing um like personality or energy. And again, of course, that's if people aren't on my bad side. But for the most part, I'm a chill person. Like I don't, I don't go out trying to like mess up other people's days. Like that's just not my MO. But I've definitely been told that I have a calm. I guess like aura, spirit, whatever you want to call it. So I get it. And especially being under constant spiritual attack, it's like you have to be exceptional at being able to bounce back from stuff like that on a consistent basis. Otherwise, you go nuts. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say that I've encountered too many people that would consider themselves healers. I feel like I'm always being surrounded by individuals that are broken. If I'm being completely honest, I constantly find myself surrounded by people who want something from me, one way or another. Like that's the and from what I understand, that's a tall tale sign that you're a healer is when you attract broken people. Kind of like Jesus. Not that I think I'm Jesus. But I definitely resonate with his story more now than I ever have. And how people are always wanting something from him when he was just trying to live, you know. Good content healing rooms. Okay. Hey, like Warrior Lifetimes, you giving me all the gems. I appreciate that. That's like I like watching not necessarily on the spiritual side, but I like watching what's his name? Dr. Berg. He tends to do a lot of videos on YouTube going over different ailments and more holistic or natural approaches to healing those things. Because I was obsessed with watching a lot of his content for a while there, just because he's a modern medicine doctor. However, he broke away from that to be able to give people the real truth about certain things that they could do for themselves to heal themselves without necessarily needing modern medicine all the time, because everything has a time and a place. And like I stated before, like I just feel like we should lean more towards the natural first and foremost. But again, we all get things wrong. Stuff happens. Stuff comes up. It is what it is. No one's perfect at anything. Live and learn. Yeah, I agree. Well, I don't know. I think I want to go ahead and start tapering off this live. I definitely have enjoyed myself. I appreciate everyone who participated and had something positive and or constructive to add to the conversation. And as you know, that's what I will always put my attention on first and foremost before giving in to the negativity, because we got enough of that going on out there. So I rather keep it as positive as possible here on my channel. Um, but yeah, I really learned a lot. I hope you all learned something from me or about me and give you a better picture into who I am and what I'm about. And I hope to continue to get to know you all a little better. Yeah, I feel very, very calm, very zen, and I don't know. I feel good. I feel energized. I hope you all feel the same. Thank you for sticking with me this long, because we're over 2 hours. So thank you for carving out a time in your day to spend time with me. I appreciate it, because I'm just a stranger on the internet to you. You don't even know me from Adam, but I'm hoping that we can get to know each other a little better. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. But until next time, see you all later. Have a good evening.